At this point, we don't know the extent of the injuries to offensive tackle Jason Peters or linebacker Jordan Hicks. One thing we do know after the Eagles win over the Washington Redskins here at Lincoln Financial Field, other than the fact that the Eagles are 6-1, is this win came at a big cost. Talking to players in the locker room, they didn't want to say the exact injury, but none of them talked about Peters or Hicks as if either of them were going to be back anytime soon. It sounds like Halapoulivaati Vaitai is expecting to play a large amount, as is backup linebacker Joe Walker. So the question for the Eagles is, what are they going to do? Let's talk about Jason Peters first. Peters' injury is a major problem on a number of levels. One, he plays a key position and was playing at a very high level. Two, it's going to force you to potentially reshuffle your offensive line. I don't know if they'll move Lane Johnson to left tackle, but he struggled at left tackle in the preseason and is playing well at right. So maybe you're better off keeping Lane at right tackle and then inserting Halapoulivaati Vaitai in at left tackle. But Vaitai played right tackle all of last season, doesn't have a ton of experience playing left tackle. So that's one issue just for this season in terms of the offensive line. But let's not forget, not even 2 months ago, Howie Roseman handed Jason Peters a 3-year, $27 million extension that essentially made it impossible for them to cut him at the end of this year. Unless there's some wording in the contract we're unaware of, the Eagles are going to be basically tied to Jason Peters for 2018. And if the knee injury is as bad as it looks, and he's already 35 years old, that could be a potential problem. So the Jason Peters injury presents a problem for this team both now and next season. Now let's talk about linebacker. I've always said I thought Jordan Hicks was probably the best player on this defense because he creates turnovers and he's a playmaker. Now, when he was carted off, that didn't look good either. He was dealing with a calf injury. The team announced it as an ankle injury, and after the game, Hicks was in the locker room with a boot on his right foot, using crutches to walk, with players consoling him as if it was a pretty serious deal. So the Eagles have games next week against the Niners, then the Broncos, then they have a bye week, then they have the huge game against the Cowboys. At this point, it would be surprising if Peters took another snap this season. But Hicks, maybe a small chance he plays against the Cowboys, but his injury isn't looking good either. So yes, this was a big win for the Eagles. They're 6-1. They've built a big enough lead that they have time to adjust to potentially having to deal with these injuries, but it's clear that the injury to Peters and the injury to Hicks are a major takeaway from this game and could have a big impact on how far this team can go this season.